why aren't you sitting down?
Well, I thought we'd do our relationship video.
Oh, okay. So you're going to sit on my lap, huh? Okay. If you think you've seen this video before, you haven't. This is a new video. Let me take off my glasses here so you know it's not. We just thought it'd be fun doing this project to kind of do a little recreation of the first video we did, but we're not going to say the same things. And
I feel like I'm too heavy for your lap.
well, that's one of the things we want to talk about, the things that have changed over 4 years. And she's not too heavy for my lap. No, not for too long, because my back isn't what it used to be. But okay, why don't you go ahead and sit down. So we still have the same clothes, still the same look. But a lot has changed over the past 4 years. We've learned a lot. We've learned a lot about making videos and editing videos and stuff like that. But we also learned a lot about age gap from being exposed and talking to other people in age gap relationships. And, you know, the world kind of views it as dysfunctional, you know. And would you say our relationship is dysfunctional?
No, I don't think it's dysfunctional.
I think it works, you know, and it's like, but it would be something, I was just reading the definition of it, and it was something that is viewed as not working or working properly or working in a way that society doesn't expect it to operate, which I guess society is a big word there. Generally seen as bad, you know, but really the thing that we see about age gap relationships and those that last are the people are what?
Well, they're truly attracted to each other.
Yeah, I mean, if two people are attracted to each other and they're happy, I don't know, you know, why that's a problem, but I guess instinctively people have an idea of what a relationship should look like. And if it doesn't look like that, well, then they call it into question. They have an ick reaction. And the other thing, too, is that, you know, what looks bad, people are attracted. I firmly believe this now, that people are attracted to what they need. You know, your subconscious, your unconscious mind knows what you need and causes you to be attracted to what you need. And if you're fulfilling a need, then what's wrong with that? You know?
Yeah, and one of the YouTubers that you were watching, she's not a psychologist or a doctor. I guess she's more of just a life coach, they call themselves, but, you know, refer to an age gap relationship as unhealthy. Well, how is it unhealthy? I think an unhealthy relationship is where there's abuse. You know, it's like that would be unhealthy, and two people could be the same age and be in an unhealthy relationship. You know?
Well, the thing about that is that just people saying that age gap just by the nature of it is unhealthy, that's really, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, secondly, well, if there was some sort of unhealthy circumstance in either life, in the life of the older or the younger person, that caused them to be attracted to somebody significantly older or significantly younger, well, that's just a reality you have to deal with.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just say, well, you know, you had a really bad childhood and now you have daddy issues, but don't follow that. Don't fulfill that need. Just pretend it didn't happen. Pretend everything is fine and go get yourself somebody your own age, because that's what we think you should do.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is people want you to do what will make them happy or what they think is quote unquote normal. So if you're attracted to somebody that's older and you know, somebody's against it, you're just supposed to listen to them to make other people happy. That's not right. That's not right for people to expect you to live your life and go against what you're attracted to. That's selfish on their part.
Well, yeah, and the thing of it is you have to go from where you're at. You know, if your childhood messed you up and this is where you're at, this is where you're at. You know, I don't, you know, I suppose there's an opportunity in there for a predator to get in and take advantage of that. You know, and that's where you really have to vet out, who you want to be with and stuff like that. But when the relationship lasts 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 years,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have a hard time convincing me that that's an unhealthy relationship.
Yeah.
It works. There are things that, mechanical things that we have that don't function exactly the way they were meant to be, but they function.
Mm-hmm.
I get a lot of things to function, even if it's not exactly the way it was designed in the factory. But if it's functioning, it's functioning.
Yeah.
Who's to argue with that? Um, and we're not as quite as defensive as we used to be. We understand other people having a problem. But one of the things that I tell age gap couples all the time, use that to your advantage. Take that disapproval and let that bring you closer together, make you
Mm-hmm.
stronger. When you are you and me against the world,
Yeah.
that makes for a very strong relationship. And a lot of times people who come against that end up just making it stronger. The same thing happened. I've been studying a lot on limerence, and it's a very interesting thing. Something that happens involuntary and can destroy your life. Oh wow! You have no control over it, and yet it has the capability to cause such destruction. But one of the things they were saying about that, if a person's in limerence, you just got to let it run its course. If you try to convince them that they're in limerence and they're making a mistake, they're just going to rebel against that, and it's going to make it all the more, harder for them to see the light of day that what they're
Mm-hmm.
doing is very destructive. So, but we're going to put out a bunch of new videos. We're not going to do the same thing that we did before. We're going to do them better.
Mm-hmm.
Where it may cover some of the same topics we covered before. We may not. There'll be new topics, new things to cover from a new point of view. And
Yeah.
life evolves. That's what happens. You learn things as you go along. But well, we've been together over 25 years,
Mm-hmm.
and not a lot of people, not a lot of couples that got together when we got together around 2000 that can say that.
Yeah.
Age alike too. I mean, and there are, the thing of it is there are certain things you give up, but there's certain advantages you get too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's true of everything.
Yeah.
Everything you do, every choice you make, well, you make a choice to do this and not that.
Yeah.
So you give up that, but you gain this, and it's hopefully you don't make choices that you're all just giving stuff up and getting nothing back in return. That would be sad.
Yeah. Choices like, where you're going to live and what you're going to do for a job. And, there's always positives and negatives to everything. So,
Well, I think a lot of people would like to live in this idea that everything could be perfect and right, and that's just not it.
it's not achievable in life to
Yeah,
have everything. So
that's
just
right.
and we had talked about, happiness. You might not always be happy, but finding joy is the main
Yeah.
thing that will bring you peace is looking for the positive in everything, finding joy, you know.
Well, joy is sustainable. It's a
Hmm.
sense of well-being regardless of your situation, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah,
Where happiness depends on what's happening.
right.
So if what's happening is what you want to happen, you'll be happy. Well, that doesn't happen that often. Maybe 5 or 10% of the time, unless you hit the lottery or something, and then that has its own set of stress too. So,
Yeah,
as soon as you get that money, everybody wants a piece of it, and then they're after you for that. So,
right.
life is not going to be stress free no matter what you do, but we're kind of living it,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, now that we're not working, I think a lot of our stress was our job, and we just did what we had to do, and you just work and then you save up, and
Uh,
we're disciplined, and now I'm able to retire early with you. We have a nice home to live in, and we've finally have the peace we've been
mm.
desiring for so long.
And but even now, it still takes discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Takes discipline with how we spend our money and
Oh
stuff like
yeah.
that. So you're always going to need that. And if you have discipline and you're able to, people thinking that money is a matter of how much you make. No, it's how well you handle it.
Yeah.
People can get by very well on very little, or people can have a lot and be broke,
Yeah, it's
can't pay
true.
their bills,
Yeah.
But I think that's enough for today's video.
Yep.
Okay, take care. God bless.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.